Arise, Biff! Your time has come! The wind whipped into a fury, and the angel pulled the sleeve of his robe across his face. Arise, Biff, and walk again among the living! The whirlwind began to subside, leaving the man-shaped column of dust standing on the hillside. In a moment, the hillside was calm again. The angel pulled a gold vessel from his satchel and poured it over the column. The dust washed away, leaving a muddy, naked man sputtering in the starlight. Welcome back to the living, the angel said. The man blinked, then held his hands before his eyes as if he expected to see through it. I'm alive? He said in a language he had never heard before. Yes, the angel said. What are these sounds, these words? You have been given the gift of tongues. I've always had the gift of tongues. Ask any girl I've known. What are these words? Languages. You've been given the gift of languages, as were all the apostles. Then the kingdom has come? Yes. How long? 2,000 years ago. You worthless bag of dog shit, said Levi, who was called Biff, as he punched the angel in the mouth. You're late! The angel picked himself up and gingerly touched his lip. Nice talk to a messenger of the Lord. It's a gift, Biff said. Part 1. The Boy. God is a comedian, playing to an audience that is afraid to laugh. Voltaire. Chapter 1. You think you know how this story is going to end, but you don't. Trust me, I was there, I know. The first time I saw the man who would save the world, he was sitting near the central well in Nazareth with a lizard hanging out of his mouth. Just the tail end and the hind legs were visible on the outside. The head and forelegs were halfway down the hatch. He was 6, like me, and his beard had not come in fully, so he didn't look much like the pictures you've seen of him. His eyes were like dark honey, and they smiled at me out of a mop of blue-black curls that framed his face. There was a light older than Moses in those eyes. Unclean! Unclean! I screamed, pointing at the boy, so my mother would see that I knew the law, but she ignored me, as did all the other mothers who were filling their jars at the well. The boy took the lizard from his mouth and handed it to his younger brother, who sat beside him in the sand. The younger boy played with the lizard for a while, teasing it until it reared its little head as if to bite. Then he picked up a rock and mashed the creature's head. Bewildered, he pushed the dead lizard around in the sand, and once assured that it wasn't going anywhere on its own, he picked it up and handed it back to his older brother. Into his mouth went the lizard, and before I could accuse, out it came again, squirming and alive and ready to bite once again. He handed it back to his younger brother, who smote it mightily with the rock, starting or ending the whole process again. I watched the lizard die 3 more times before I said, I want to do that too. The Savior removed the lizard from his mouth and said, which part? By the way, his name was Joshua. Jesus is the Greek translation of the Hebrew Yeshua, which is Joshua. Christ is not a last name. It's the Greek for Messiah, a Hebrew word meaning anointed. I have no idea what the H in Jesus H. Christ stood for. It's one of those things I should have asked him. Me? I am Levi, who was called Biff. No middle initial. Joshua was my best friend. The angel says I'm supposed to just sit down and write my story. Forget about what I've seen in this world. But how am I to do that? In the last 3 days, I've seen more people, more images, more wonders than in all my 33 years of living. And the angel asks me to ignore them? Yes, I have been given the gift of tongues, so I see nothing without knowing the word for it. But what good does that do? Did it help in Jerusalem to know that it was a Mercedes that terrified me and set me diving into a dumpster? Moreover, after Raziel pulled me out and ripped my fingernails back as I struggled to stay hidden, did it help to know that it was a Boeing 747 that made me cower in a ball, trying to rock away my own tears and shut out the noise and fire? Am I a little child, afraid of its own shadow? Or did I spend 27 years